Welcome to Real Estate 360, an informative and engaging hour discussing everything you need to know about the world of real estate. Your host, Joe Cucchiara, will provide you with insight and guidance on how to buy, sell, finance, and invest in real estate. He also offers real estate tax management strategies, new construction advice, home improvement tips, and much, much more. Now, to guide you around the world of real estate, here's your host and Real Estate 360 team leader, Joe Cucchiara.
Welcome in. Good afternoon. This is Joe Cucchiara with Real Estate 360. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We have a special show for you today, only because we have the big kickoff of Mike Ambrosio hosting his own show. So you're hearing my voice for sure today, as you have for the last couple of years, but really excited to announce Mike Ambrosio has been on our show now for, on and off for 6 or 7 months now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, so Mike will be hosting every single Monday, starting next Monday. Excited for that. He'll be joining the RE360 team. Really excited for Mike and to really bring the expertise in the real estate market. And he'll have a bunch of special guests. And in a few minutes, we'll talk about some of the shows he's going to be. Some of the things he's going to be talking about in his next several shows over the next few weeks. We'll talk about that as well. Just remember, we're with you 5 days a week, Monday through Friday from 3 to 4. You can tune in, listen to us a couple different ways. One is on your radio, KDOW 1220 AM. Also, you could tune in, listen to us live online. That's KDOW.biz. That's KDOW.biz. Also, be sure to visit our website when you get a chance. You could find out any updated information. You could sign up for updates. And always good to visit the Trusted Advisors section of the website, re360radio.com. That's re360radio.com. If you happen to miss any shows, you could see podcasts or look for those as well. Also, if you have any recommendation for guests, we'd love to hear from you. You could email or call us. Lastly, it's a live show, so we love your calls, and we usually get a lot of calls when Mike and I are doing shows, right?
I think this one today should bring in a few calls,
Should bring more, because now technically you're the host.
Yeah. I want to hear if you agree with my points, if you disagree. Right. I want to hear what your thoughts are on this whole holiday extravaganza we call real estate. So
yeah, we got a special thing. Mike and I are going to be talking about the 10 reasons you should sell your house over the holidays. So we're going to jump into that in a couple of minutes, but also we'd love to hear your calls, 1-800-516-1220, 1-800-516-1220. That's the number to get your calls on the line. And don't be shy, because all you out there listening, all these months you've been hearing Mike here on the show, now is your time to congratulate him for hosting his show, right? Yeah. So don't be shy. Give him a call and congratulate him if nothing else. All right, Mike, let's get started. What do you want to do here?
Well, let's talk. I do want to talk a little bit about what I have planned for the coming year and the Monday shows.
Okay.
Plan on having definitely a kind of a theme every month or every week. So I have about 3 or 4 themes a month.
Good.
One of them being I definitely want to focus on investment properties at least once a month. Some of you may remember Scott Poncetta, who's been on without me before, and we've been on together. Mm-hmm. I plan on having him in quite often, and some other brokers that do work in the investment realm. So I definitely want to focus on that. I want to have a week, dedicated week to trends in the marketplace right now. So whether that's different trends that are going on in construction or remodeling, home improvement, government trends, what's going to affect you as a homeowner and even someone that's looking to buy property. So I do want to do trends in the marketplace. Another theme that I want to have is having special guests on. So whether that's people that are own real estate companies or are higher up in the ranks in real estate companies. Mm-hmm. I'm even looking into trying to get in some people that own a lot of property in the Bay Area.
That's a good idea.
How do they get that much property?
Right.
What are their secrets? What are their tips if they're willing to let us know them? That'll be fun trying to pry that out of them. But so those are some of the themes that I'm looking to do, and even have some top listing agents in to maybe talk about certain marketplaces, maybe get some history behind them and trends and what's going on in the inventory, which should be an interesting story in 2014. So those are some of the things that I plan on doing for the next year. And
great.
Another thing I wanted to clarify too is that I am not in the restaurant business. I do sell real estate.
Well, you have some blood in the restaurant business,
right? My father's in the restaurant
right.
business. You'll probably be hearing some of his commercials, and I'm trying to get him to sponsor the show too. We'll see how that goes. But if I do ever end up meeting any of you, I would still like to show you how to flip a pizza here.
I think it's a good idea.
pizza flipping realtor. So that's what I have coming up, and I hope everyone enjoys it.
Yeah, it's great. So again, if you're just tuning in, this is Joe Cucchiara with Real Estate 360. I am passing the reins here on Monday. It's really, really exciting to have Mike D. Ambrosio be hosting the show every single Monday going forward. Of course, you can tune in and listen to us all 5 days from 3 to 4, a couple different ways. So want to get started on these, the reason the holidays. Here we are already, December. Mm-hmm. So great topic I think you chose today to talk about. Let's talk a little bit about the 10 reasons why someone's wanted to sell their house over the holidays. Because typically, traditional speaking, Mike, right? I mean, everybody kind of buckles down and says, just forget everything, no real estate, no nothing. Let's just wait till after the first year. The one we hear all the time is the Super Bowl, right? Wait till list your home. And this course it's selling, of course. But don't you think, is that past history? I mean, I know there's these cliches and you hear it all the time still, but are you doing a disservice, I guess, is my question. Is that doing a disservice potentially to a buyer or a seller, in this case a seller, by just automatically saying that?
I think so. I think it, with the way the world is nowadays with the internet and everything's so fast-paced and everything's at everyone's fingertips, I think the whole holiday argument is gone, in my opinion. And I'll kind of explain why throughout the show. Because people can access information anywhere now. And I think during the holidays, if you structure it the way you want it, you can sell your house for maximum value during the holidays. I don't think that it is like it used to be, many years ago when everything's pretty much shut down from the middle of November till after the Super Bowl, which is usually in beginning of February. So, to answer your question, I think those days are gone. And
there's the other thing I was thinking about is, you hear every once in a while too, a normal market or average market. And as I look back the last several years, is there such a thing in the Bay Area where you live? It's either like skyrocketing or all of a sudden there's a big adjustment and there's all kinds of inventory and no one knows if we're going to get rid of it.
Yeah, and especially the Silicon Valley, we live in our own little world over here. And I think that, especially with all the tech companies that are moving in or that are here or that are expanding, I think the real estate market is really going to be good here for a while. And, I don't think we should take that for granted.
So basically, what you're saying is, if you're really thinking about selling your home, don't automatically think or consider the fact that you're going to get top dollar if you wait till the next year or after the Super Bowl or March or whatever, spring, whatever the number, whatever people talk about. I mean, look at it right now. Tell us a little bit about inventory. Does that also play a part into this?
It does, and even looking. When I first started coming on the show, I think it was 6-8 months ago or even almost a year, I just looked at the inventory before we went on the air, and we're under 1,200 total for both single-family residences, condos, and townhouses. And then I remember maybe just a couple months ago, we were over 1,200, almost at 1,500 just for single-family. So that's how much it's dropped.
Wow.
The inventory level is low, and that's actually one of the points is, inventory levels that are low, just like we saw at the beginning of the year. That's good for sellers, obviously, because you're going to get maximum exposure. You're going to get a lot of buyers, and that's going to create, a bidding situation.
So are you still seeing if a home goes on the market that's priced well, multiple offers?
Yeah.
That's the first question is, and does it make a difference if it's 600,000-700,000 price range versus one over $1 million or so, or does it not matter still because of the inventory?
I think it does. It's a tough question. I think we are, to answer your first question, we are still seeing multiple offers, whereas maybe 6 months ago you were seeing 10 to 15 offers, maybe you're seeing 3 to 5 now. So it's a little lower. But as far as the price range goes, I think it's all over the board. I think people are buying in all price ranges. The average price range around here is in the 7s, but anything above that, we're still seeing a lot of competition because there's just so much money in this valley.
Yeah, there is.
So,
all right. Well, let's talk about the points and then selling your home during the holidays. What are some of the things you want to let listeners know about why some of the key factors why they may want to consider that?
Yeah. So the first one I think is people who are looking for a home during the holidays are usually more serious buyers.
Okay.
Someone that's going to spend the time during the busy holiday season. We know we all have busy lives, and we have parties and we have other things going on. We have shopping, and I think people that are looking during the holidays are typically more serious. They're more committed, and they're more focused. And if they're willing to spend the time during a busy holiday season, I think that you should be more open to looking at them and seeing if they're ready to go.
That's a good point. I mean, you're saying that, boy, if someone's really going to be looking in during the holidays, they are serious because it's a busy time of the year.
Right.
All this other stuff going on. And so if they're serious, this is a really good time. What are some of the other things, the reason why someone might consider selling their home during the holidays?
Going along that lines, if serious buyers, and especially just like we just talked, they're going to have fewer houses to look at during the holidays because typically, I mean, we've obviously seen low inventory levels over the past year, but typically December, January is a low inventory time of year anyways, right? So when there is lower inventory, then they have more houses to choose from, and more competition means more money for you as a seller if you are selling. So that's why it's a good time, because the inventory is typically low, and it's even lower this year because of how the market's been.
Right.
So
okay.
Yeah.
If you're just tuning in again, this is Joe Cucchiara with Mike Ambrosio with Real Estate 360. Mike will be your new host every single Monday. You could tune in here, listen to him from 3 to 4 every single day, and a couple different ways, 1220 a.m. on your dial or KDOW.biz. Mike and I are talking today about the 10 reasons you should sell your home over the holidays, which traditionally people would say not to. What else? What else are we looking at here?
The next one I really like, and we could spend probably all day talking about it, but houses usually show better when decorated for the holidays.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Why is that?
So, okay, let me just preface this with, we're not talking about someone who's Clark Griswold here that has, 10,000 lights in their house and the whole house is cluttered on the inside with stuff from the 99-cent store. And not that that's a bad thing, but, you want it to be classy and tasteful. Make sure you really put a lot of thought and effort into how you do decorate your home for the holidays if you are listing your property. When someone comes in and they see all this stuff everywhere, it's just not going to look good. And that's just like selling your home during a normal time. You want it to be clean, neat, not cluttered, personal items put away, everything so that they can envision themselves living in the house. And a lot of people probably couldn't envision themselves putting up 10,000 lights and, shutting the whole neighborhood's power down and stuff like that. So I think houses showing better when decorated during the holidays, yes, but make sure it's tasteful and you do it right. And that also goes along with the next one, is that typically buyers are more emotional during the holidays.
Yeah.
So they're more than likely, to come in and pay your price. And if they can emotionally connect with the house, then they're more than likely to go for it, and so it's an emotional time of year for a lot of people. And if you can connect to them that way through decoration or just making the house look good, smell good, envision themselves spending the holidays there, it's a great time of year, to do that.
Either get the cookies going or you have the candles now, right?
Right. Yeah, the candles. Those are important.
You don't have to bake cookies anymore.
Yeah.
You just light the candles.
You just go to Yankee Candle and do that. So I think, this is a time of year during unmatched consumer confidence, consumer retail frenzy, right? So that same thing kind of transfers over into housing. So
perfect.
Anyways, we're gonna take a break here real quick, and we'll be right back in a couple of minutes.
For more information on today's program, visit RE360radio.com. That's RE360radio.com. Welcome back to Real Estate 360, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RE360radio.com. That's RE360radio.com. Again, your host for today's edition of RE360 Radio, Joe Cucchiara.
Welcome back. This is Mike Ambrosio with Real Estate 360. I'm sitting here with Joe Cucchiara, and we're love to hear from you guys. Give us a call if you had any comments, questions, feedback about first half of the show and what we're talking about listing your home during the holidays. We can be reached at 1-800-516-1220. That's 1-800-516-1220. And just a reminder for those of you guys tuning in, there's a couple ways you can listen to our show. That is on the radio at KDOW 1220. You can also listen to us live online at KDOW.biz. And you can also look at RE360radio.com if you've missed any shows in the past, or if you want to stream live through there, you can do that as well. So let's get back into it. Let's talk about the rates
Okay.
during the holiday season, because that's a little bit more your arena, and I know it's always an interesting time. What is it usually like, and maybe time frames and what you've seen in the past? And
Well, we're coming in really exiting an interesting year. 2013, we had the historic low rates in 2012. They went up a little bit in 2013. Historically speaking, they're still very good. You're looking at 30-year money still in the low 4% range. Difference is, I think the thing that I've been talking about a lot on this show, and a lot of the information I've been getting out in content through the social media and everything to my clients and business partners, is that if you're going to buy, now is a great time, and it could go down in the history. I know it sounds a little dramatic, but seriously, is one of the best times to buy in the last year or so.
Yeah.
Because not only home values came down a little, where people jumped back in and got some good values but the biggest reason is interest rates, and I don't say that because that's my business. I say it because it's true. Because a 3.5% interest rate over 30 years is a lot different than a 4.5% interest rate over 30 years. Mm-hmm. So you truly do have a big advantage if you get into a market like today, when you could still take advantage of historic low interest rates. So I would say, to answer your question, Mike, rates are good right now, but most likely they'll go up next year.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're thinking about buying a home, boy, if you're on the fence, probably a good time to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, that I would say even one of the points I had too was that some people have to buy before the end of the year too, for tax purposes, or even because of the fact that the interest rate market is lower during this time. And through all the things we read and we research, I think end of this time next year might be a little bit higher. So
yeah,
looks like we got a caller, Rodney in Milpitas. Are you there?
Hi, Mike and Joe.
Yeah. Hey, Rodney. How you doing?
Hey, Rodney.
Good. Hi, gentlemen. Couple things real quick. One, I have a person that's back east. They want to come back to California. They were here many years ago. They have a house back there. They lived in a long time, so they have a little chunk of change to sell it and come back out here. What can that person expect coming out? A, what are the priority things that they probably need to do before making any decisions at all?
Mm-hmm.
B, what can they expect when they get out here? What kind of house they can get, an average
Right.
house here in the valley?
Where are they coming from?
Wisconsin.
They can expect sticker shock. That's the first thing.
I kind of told her that already.
Yeah. I would say the first thing they definitely want to look into is talking to someone like Joe and getting their financing in order, because without that, you don't really have anywhere to go. So it's a good thing that they might have a little chunk of change, for a down payment, but definitely looking into seeing what they can afford in this valley or in other parts of the valley too, because San Jose might not suit their needs or might not suit their price range, right? So I mean, that might even help direct where they can even move in California. I don't know, Joe, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, no, Mike makes a great point. I mean, good news is it sounds like they have some down payment, Rodney, but the very first thing, especially now, because financing's so a little more challenging than it was in the past. If I tell people all the time, if you haven't done any financing in the last, say, 5 to 6 years, you're in for a little bit of surprise, because it's different. I mean, it's tighter, it's more conservative. So the very first thing that they want to do when they come out, or even before they come out, is call me or call someone who will help them with their financing and get them pre-approved, so that then when they come out and they're working with someone like Mike to buy a home, then they have a letter, they're fully approved, ready to go, and it takes a lot of stress off all parties concerned.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is looking into what their living style is, and it's a lifestyle change, right? To move from somewhere like Wisconsin to California, it's totally different. So,
well, fortunately, this person was here many years ago, so they have a little bit of it. The other thing is are we under a real estate bubble?
A real estate bubble? No, I don't think we're in a real estate bubble. I think that in Silicon Valley, values continue to stay strong here, and to use the term bubble, like last time when we had a bubble, it was all about the financing situation, right? Whereas this time, it's a lot more, just like Joe said, it's a lot more conservative. The banks aren't just going to give you a loan if you have a heartbeat, So that really drove the bubble, quote unquote, last time. This time, I think it's locked in a lot better. And yeah, values have risen at a pretty surprising rate over the past year, but I think it's going to stay pretty steady now. And I don't really see it, going. Do you have anything? Yeah,
no, again, good point that Mike makes, Rodney. I think the biggest difference is that now the people that are getting financing, they have more skin in the game. They have to put a down payment, and they truly qualify, genuinely qualify. Before, we didn't have that. So I agree with them. I don't think there's a bubble. Now, you always have to be careful. I tell people all the time, if you're going to buy in a so-called peak, right, I think don't ever look back, and I think you're always going to be good if you're going to be in that house for at least 5-7 years or more. Where people get in trouble is when you buy at a potential peak, and for some reason the next year or so, all of a sudden you have to sell, then certainly there could be some challenges there. So that would be the only thing. You know, I've bought real estate in some of the best when the markets were the lowest, and I've bought it when they've been the highest. And I can tell you I've done both, and they both have worked out well for me because I've held on the real estate long term. So
I appreciate that very much.
But that's a great question.
Your show.
Thank you.
I love your show. Thank you.
Thanks, Rodney. Really appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So we're going to take a break. This is Mike D'Ambrosio with Real Estate 360, sitting here in studio with Joe Cucchiara. We'd love to hear from you guys. That was a great call from Rodney. Yep. And give us a call at 1-800-516-1220, 1-800-516-1220.
For more information on today's program, visit RE360radio.com. That's RE360radio.com.
Yeah.
What's the other line?
Hello?
It's my mom.
Oh.
Put on your headphones. Hello.
Hi, honey.
How you doing?
I'm good. I just wanted to call to congratulate you.
Thank you. I knew that was you when I saw Julie, and I knew that was you.
Dead giveaway. You should be. Are you proud of your son?
I so am. That's why I'm calling. I'm so proud of him.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable to hear him on the radio. You can't even imagine as a mom, to hear your son doing that. It's just wonderful. So
well, he deserves it. He deserves it. He's done a great job.
He gave me a run for my money when he was little, but I tell you,
that's right.
He grew up really well. So I'm very proud of him.
Thanks, Mom.
Congratulations. And I'll be listening every Monday.
Thank you got to make sure you tell all your friends to listen too, though.
Yeah,
I will. I'm going to tell them
on Facebook.
too. Definitely. Yeah.
Thanks for calling in. I'll see you. I'll see you after the soccer game to pick up the soup.
Yep. Don't forget about the soup. Okay.
Right. Yeah, turkey
honey.
soup.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Mom. Bye.
Bye.
That's cute.
Welcome back to Real Estate 360, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RE360radio.com. That's RE360radio.com. Again, your host for today's edition of RE360 Radio, Joe Cucchiara.
Welcome back to RE360 Radio. It's Mike D'Ambrosio and Joe Cucchiara talking about the holidays. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah to everybody. Want to hear from you guys, hear what you think about the couple of points we made so far. 1-800-516-1220. That's 1-800-516-1220. Also, tomorrow, if you are free, December 3rd tomorrow from 3 to 4, you can come listen to a live broadcast of the radio, RE360 Radio, at the Toll House in Los Gatos. And from 4 to 6, we have some networking and appetizers, so that's always fun. So who do you have on tomorrow, Joe?
Sotheby's International Real Estate will be our sponsor tomorrow. They're a great group of people, so they'll be sponsoring. It's a great time. Yeah, come down if you can. Listen to the show live audience, so you could ask questions of the guests or me. And it's a good time. After the show, we do the appetizers and wine tasting from 4 to 6. It's a good time.
We'll be there. I'll be there. If you guys want to come down, and I'd love to meet the listeners and
meet the new host.
Yeah, meet the new host, and I'm sure the other ones will be there, and we'll have a good time. So let's get back into why to list your home during the holidays. One of the ones I think we could spend even a few minutes on is this not only goes for the holidays, but it goes for any time of the year. Is people are oftentimes worried about during the holidays when you have gatherings and parties is restricting the showings. And this is a huge thing because a lot of, we all want to respect each other's privacy, right? And some people think when they list their home, it's going to be a free-for-all. Mm-hmm. You put a lockbox on there, people are free to come in and out whenever they so please, which is not true. And one of the reasons we have that lockbox is to track who's coming in and out of the home. You also have the ability to not have a lockbox. You don't have to have a lockbox on your property, and especially during the holidays, if you're trying to enjoy privacy, and it's a good thing possibly to not have a lockbox and just you can have restricted hours. of showings. You can have, maybe drive people to one time, like an open house, right? Maybe do an extra long open house on a Saturday from 1 to 6 and drive all the people during that time. That way you're not being bothered throughout the week. So I think a lot of people that are worried about listing their home during the holidays is definitely because they don't want to be bothered. And I completely understand that, What do you think about that? I mean,
yeah, I think it's a good point, and all these are good points. I love the topic, and the reason why I love the topic is because I think it is untraditional right now in terms of the market, and I think it's a big mistake when people automatically, I said this on my show last week, I talked about it, if you meet with a real estate agent and they automatically tell you, I said, you don't list your house till next year, I would challenge them. That's what I would say, because I would say, why? Tell me why, give me some statistics, reasons, tell me what's going on in the marketplace. So I'll pass it back to you. I know we have to take a break quickly, but we can talk more about that when we come back.
Yeah, and I think especially in a time like this, with the inventory levels the way they are, and even lower this year than they used to be.
Right.
It could be to your to your advantage and in your favor to do it now rather than wait until after Super Bowl Sunday, which hopefully the Niners are in. So, anyways, we got to take a quick break. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. 1-800-516-1220. That's 1-800-516-1220. Check us out on the web, RE360radio.com. This is Mike D'Ambrosio and Joe Cucchiara.
For more information on today's program, visit RE360radio.com. That's RE360radio.com. Welcome back to Real Estate 360, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RE360radio.com. That's RE360radio.com. Again, your host for today's edition of RE360 Radio, Joe Cucchiara.
Welcome back to RE360 Radio. This is Mike D'Ambrosio sitting here with Joe Cucchiara. We'd love to hear from you guys. Give us a call at 1-800-516-1220. Today we're talking about the holidays, why to list your home during the holidays, why it's a good time to buy during the holidays. Tomorrow, if you're free, another holiday event to go to is the RE360 the last mixer of the year. So it's at the Toll House Hotel in Los Gatos. You can come listen to the show live from 3 to 4. You can meet all the peeps there. 4 to 6 is social and networking and appetizers and good times. So that's tomorrow, December 3rd at the Toll House in Los Gatos.
Yeah, it's been a great event. We started in May, and we'll continue it all next year. We already have sponsors lined up through, I think, April or May of next year.
Good.
It's been a great event. You know, we get a handful. Well, actually, get several people coming to watch the show, and then the mixer gets really busy. So it's a lot of fun. Come down and check us out, and
it's a great venue
to the
too.
Show. It is.
It's a great venue.
Yeah,
and it's near my office, so I don't really have to drive that far.
Nice and convenient.
Convenient for me. Yeah. Anyways, let's get back into it. One thing we were talking about even on the break was, a lot of people are worried about moving during the holidays. Mm-hmm. And I get it. It's a scary thing. You got decorations out. You're busy. So let's talk about that. I think, let's say, and I know we're kind of getting into December already, and this, this topic maybe would have been better, a month or two ago. But just think about this for this year and next holiday season too. That's why we wanted to bring this up, because I don't know if we've ever talked about this on the show before. So I think it's just good to
topic. Great.
To get it, get the wheels turning and people to think about it. But definitely, let's say we feel you can get the most money, most bang for your buck, the most money for your house during the holiday season. Mm-hmm. Now, what are you going to do about moving?
Right.
And a lot of people don't want to move on New Year's Eve, right?
That's right.
So, I'm going through this with the client right now. Is he wants to buy a house. Okay, he wants to relocate. He's got a big house with a lot of stuff. The thought of him moving everything right now during Christmas time and everything else it frightens him. He's looking at a house right now in Willow Glen, actually, and they have a lot of stuff. They have a big house. They're an older couple. So, for them to move is a big undertaking, right? Mm-hmm. So when you're looking at writing an offer or you're looking at buying a place, you want to make it attractive for all the parties involved for the ease of moving. So, for instance, what you can do is write a long close of escrow. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be 30 days or less. It could be 45, 60 days. That's already bringing you out until the middle of January or the end of January, offering incentives like, an extended occupancy. So what that means is you close escrow, and the seller stays in the house for an agreed upon amount of time afterwards, whether that's at a charge, which is typically, called rent back, right?
Right.
And sometimes you offer it to them for free. Depends on how generous you want to be. You offer it to them for free, or you pay a certain amount, whether it's market rent or the buyer's PITI.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great point, and this is something we haven't talked about, and I love this topic because there's so much you could do, and a lot of people don't understand that. Excuse me, but on the other side of that transaction, you have the ability to the rent back. Some people aren't used to that terminology, but this rent back plays in. Typically lenders don't mind if it's over 60 days, it becomes a problem sometimes.
Right.
But 30 to 60 days is not a problem. It's real easy to do. And it offers a great benefit for the person moving out of the house.
Right. No, it definitely does. And so with the example we were talking about before, I mean, let's say this client got into contract tomorrow. He could possibly be looking at moving in end of February or March,
right.
So that brings you right to the Super Bowl, right?
That's right.
So that, that's the good thing about it is you can structure it however you want. So I guess what I'm trying to say is don't worry about the moving during the holidays, because if you're working with a good realtor and everyone involved in the transaction has the same goal at the end of the day, you can make it however you want to make it. And then you won't have to stress. You don't have to stress about moving. Along those lines too is a lot of buyers have more time to look during the holidays. Now I know there's a lot of parties and stuff going on, but as far as work goes, maybe their workload is a lot lighter, so maybe they have time during the week, especially for corporate executives or people that are often extremely busy during the year, flying, traveling. I think during the holidays they might be back at home base, right?
Right.
And they might have more time to look and go check things out. And on that same note is January is typically, this is another one of the points, I think we're kind of just flying through these, but typically January is a time for employees to start their new jobs. Yep.
That's a good time. What the thing that comes to my mind as we talk about this, Mike, is what if someone you're sitting down with them today, and I always like hypotheticals because I think what we have to do is try to put ourselves in the shoes of the buyers, the sellers, the person financing. So if you're meeting with someone today and they say, well, Mike, I mean, over the years, everybody's telling me just to wait till February or March to list my house. What would you do? Take me through that conversation. What kind of things would you tell them once they gave you that remark or that comment? What would you take me through the process from that point?
I mean, the first thing I would ask is why. Why do you think that? Why do you think that? And then let them explain themselves. Okay, well, I don't think people aren't going to be as busy or going to be as looking at the house as much, and really get those points out of them, because at the end of the day, the reasons that we're listing today is really what I would talk about. Is look, it's inventory is low. What is the best way to get the most money for your house? Right. Is to create a buzz, to have less competition with other listings in the area, to have the most buyers possible coming through your home, and driving the most traffic through your home. Right. The other thing is making it as emotional as possible, because really that's what residential real estate is all about, unless you're buying homes to invest in. But it's an emotional thing, and who's more emotional than humans during the holidays, right? And so that's really the reasons why I would tell them, like, it's not a bad time of the year to do it. You can do it now, and then if they're not comfortable with it, then they're not comfortable with it. No one's going to force anyone to do anything, but here are the reasons why. Take it or leave it. It can be a great thing, and if you need to wait, then you need to wait. But this is why it could be a really good thing for you guys and your bottom line. So we got to take another break. This is Mike D'Ambrosio with Real Estate 360, sitting here with Joe Cucchiara, and give us a call, 1-800-516-1220, 1-800-516-1220. We'd love to hear from you. Happy holidays.
For more information on today's program, visit RE360radio.com. That's RE360radio.com. Welcome back to Real Estate 360, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RE360radio.com. That's RE360radio.com. Again, your host for today's edition of RE360 Radio, Joe Cucchiara.
Welcome back to RE360 Radio. This is Mike D'Ambrosio here with Joe Cucchiara. Looks like we had a call, Stanley from San Francisco. It looks like we lost your call, so give us a call back. We'd love to help you out, love to answer your questions. 1-800-516-1220. Just a reminder, too, I can be reached at Facebook, facebook.com/Mike D Real Estate. Go check it out, like my page. I got some good content up there and interesting real estate news and articles, and would love to hear your feedback on that. 408-357-6177 is my number. Would love to answer any questions you have. So let's get back into it. Talking about the holidays, one of the last points I had, Joe, was that another thing, we just talked about extending close of escrow and doing that. The other thing you can do is by selling now and closing the deal and getting the cash come spring. If you're trying to buy something else, you could be a non-contingent buyer. Yeah, and it would make you look a lot stronger. So what I mean by non-contingent is when you purchase a property and let's say you have a loan or you have a 1031 exchange or something, there's stipulations on your offer that might make a seller, not think your offer is as strong, or it just puts more roadblocks in an offer, right? So by being a non-contingent offer and just being all cash, you can close in a week, 14 days. So possibly, and this all depends on tax ramifications for you. And whenever I bring up tax ramifications, I say, talk to your CPA, not your realtor. Right. We have, a little bit of knowledge, but it's always good to talk to your CPA. And if you need a good CPA, I know we have trusted advisors and we have good people to talk to.
Absolutely.
But
the one thing I wanted to bring up, Mike, before we finish the show is that in this holiday, whether you're making a decision or not, and really I want to make sure this is a big focus, and is that interest rates.
Right.
Interest rates. The reason I say that is when you ask why sell your house now, I'm telling you right now, and then I've been doing this a long time, if interest rates, just for an example, are at 4.25% today on a 30-year fixed, and middle of next year they're at 4.5% or 4 5/8, or if they go up 0.5%, that could mean $200-300 a month depending on your mortgage payment.
Purchasing power.
So purchasing power and lending guidelines are going to be tightening up. We could talk about that on another show. Yeah. I've talked about them a lot, but so those are other two reasons when we're talking about selling your home right now. Right. Really think about lending guidelines, and rates will go up next year. Right. Do we know when, how much? No, but they will.
And if they do, it's going to make the purchasing power and the buyer pool smaller for whatever price point you're at. So that's interesting. I definitely think we should talk about the lending guidelines next time. What's next year? Blood samples, all that stuff going along with your loan?
That's it.
Jeez. Anyways, don't forget about tomorrow. Tomorrow, the 3rd, we got the mixer at the Toll House. 3 to 4 is a live broadcast. Come meet everybody. 4 to 6 networking and appetizers. And you can check us out online at RE360radio.com. That's RE360radio.com. I'm going to be here every Monday now, I guess.
Love it.
No, I will be. Mike D Ambrosio with Intero. I'll be here every Monday, 3 to 4. I got some really exciting things planned for the next year. Going to have some cool giveaways. We'll have a little bit of you got to remember some stuff and call back in, and maybe you'll win some prizes, and we'll go from there. So I have some really neat things planned, and I really look forward to it. And thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it, and thank you for the listeners for your support and for your calls. And anyways,
call and tell
him. Looks like we got to wrap up.
Everybody call and tell Mike how happy you are. He's going to have the hosting the show.
This is a good first show. Thanks a lot, everybody. This is Mike D Ambrosio with RE360 Radio with Joe Cucchiara. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, everybody.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
All right.
You've been listening to Real Estate 360 on AM 1220 KDOW. For more information on today's program, visit RE360radio.com. That's RE360radio.com. AM 1220 KDOW.